All right, everything seems to be in working order. Mic is good, image is good. So, yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here to bring you my My Hero Academia reaction for today. So, last we left off, we see the events of what happened before Midoriya had. We see Midoriya take down Muscular, deliver him to the police. We see him a flashback of what happened before he was out there on his own, just doing his own thing. And his mother was there, and they had a long discussion about everything that was happening, going on with him, saying that he can't return to UA because it'll just put more people in danger. And it appears that we're going on break next week for this chapter as well, because of Golden Week. So, the only thing you guys have something to look forward to next week is basically just a reaction from me watching One Piece. So hey, that works out just fine for me. But it shows that both Midoriya, All Might, Endeavor, Hawks, and Best Jeanist have come together to form like this small knit group in order to find, Midoriya's out there taking down superpowered quirk users, kind of marginally, gradually reducing the ranks of some very powerful people under All for One in the pursuit of, the final battle that is to come. So, it kind of ended with a big triumphant page with Midoriya and the rest of them on the last page. So now we get to see what happens in chapter 310. And we have a cover which I really hope is what the image for that volume is going to look like. For that volume for My Hero. It shows Midoriya. It pretty much shows Midoriya and his entire getup on the front of this page. I really hope that this is what the page actually looks like when it drops. So, going on from here, it says chapter 310, Masters and Pupils. So, it's a rainy night, and it's raining. And we have some people saying, "You monster!" And we have what appears to be someone being attacked by, I guess, civilians. And she's being attacked, and they're saying, and she says, "You've got it all wrong. Please leave me alone." And they're just attacking her for some reason. And then, because she looks different, because of the way her quirks are, it's kind of like transfigured her a little bit. Because, that's how some people are in the world. Like people like Tokoyami and Spinner. There's a lot of people who are changed physically because of their quirks. And she's one of them. And she's scared. She says, "I haven't done anything wrong. I'm just scared. Please stop." And they just try to keep firing on her. And then another person says, "Yeah, right. You're just trying to get us to drop our guard. Then you'll strike." And then she says, "No." And then a person shoots. And before it hits her, Midoriya is right here. Midoriya jumps out directly in front of her and blocks the shot from actually hitting her. And then, since he's at blinding speed, he uses a lamppost to come shooting right back. And then he says, "Please, calm down. I understand that it's a stormy night and everyone's on edge, but this woman is not a threat to anyone." And then these people stop. And then he says, and then they walk off, and he says, yeah, well, she shouldn't wander around in the dark looking like that." And then Midoriya just looks at him as they all walk away. Preemptive. This is what happens when civilians who think they know what they're doing just get to preemptive. But she says, "I was slow to evacuate. This town didn't experience any major upheaval at first, so I just hid at home and waited for it all to blow over. But people started getting hurt here and there, and I was scared. I thought I should take shelter at a hero school, so I ran out into the night and, well, I'm sorry. Everything turned so horrible so fast." And then Midoriya, using his float quirk, because this woman is very, very tall. She's literally twice his size. Like, she's like Lady Dimitrescu sized. She's like, she looks like she's about 9 feet tall at least. I know Midoriya's a little bit on it. Hold on. How tall is Midoriya? How tall is Midoriya? Let me just look this up real quick. He is 5'5". So this woman is clearly 10 feet tall. Clear, or slightly higher than that, because he has to use his float quirk in order to float up to her head and hold a umbrella over her so she isn't just out in the rain. Midoriya is so nice, so humble, just being nice. And she's surprised that he gave her the umbrella. And then he just floats away saying, I bet everyone else is just as scared. And then she says, I wonder if he'll ever go back to normal. And then Midoriya says, I'll make it so. Yo! Oh, I like how he said that. You don't see the color in his eyes or anything. He just looks at her. His eyes just jet black, and all you hear him say is, I'll make it so everything goes back to normal. Ooh, you better talk to him, Midoriya. Let's go. And she says, huh? And then Midoriya says, sorry, but I better get going. And then a car pulls up, and it's All Might. And he says, are you okay, miss? And then Midoriya is talking to All Might, saying, All Might, could you get her to a shelter? I can't afford to be around anyone. And then All Might tosses him something, saying, hang on, take this. There's tonkatsu in there to keep your spirits up. Oh, so there's food. He's got a little bit of his own little bento box. Nice. And then you can see his eyes smiling, and he says, thank you. And then All Might says, it'll spoil before long, so eat up. And then we have a fantastic panel of Midoriya standing up on a high tower, looking over the city that's just dark because it's night and raining. He's literally having his own Dark Knight Batman moment, just standing here. And then Midoriya is just thinking, it's like we've slid back in time to darker days. And then Banjo was speaking to him in his mind, saying, waiting with bated breath, hoping not to stand out. Oh, wait, that was him saying that. That was Banjo saying that. It's like we slid back in time to darker days. Waiting with bated breath, hoping not to stand out. Just like back during the advent of the exceptional. Shigaraki, All for One, Dabi, those Nomu, the League. We still don't have any leads on I guess this is Midoriya speaking. We still don't have any leads on any of them. The authorities don't even have the manpower to properly follow up with the escaped convicts, so the investigation's going nowhere. And Banjo says, yep, the world's easy pickings for the bad guys. But Midoriya keeps speaking with an image of Shigaraki in the background of the words. With All for One's quirk transplanted into Shigaraki, he was too strong for us to bring down, even with Endeavor's and Aizawa Sensei's help. Unless I draw out One for All's full power, I can't stop any of this. And then he remembers the words that the first user said to the second and third users of One for All. Now play nice, you two. You have to cooperate with our successor. Yo, Midoriya says, unless I draw out One for All's full power, I can't stop any of this. Ooh, do we get to find out what the second, and third users' abilities are? We're back in the dreamscape. Inside the One for All realm before Midoriya woke up. He needs your help, and this is the first user speaking to him. He needs your help to unleash his full power. I implore you, my heroes. And the second and third users, still facing the wall, still don't say anything. And then all the rest of the users, including Nana Shimura, because this is at the moment where Nana Shimura was wiping her eyes when Midoriya said his piece. And Banjo's just looking at Midoriya, and he's all like, Kiddo, how about you catch up on some other quirks in the meantime? Especially Shinomori's and En's. That way you can visualize them better when you wake up. And then En says, that's not the worst idea. And then it appears the third user says, we. lived through the harshest era. They're finally speaking. The height of All for One's prosperity. An era when his control spread unchecked. Those who were under his control didn't even realize it. But our leader had misgivings about the future. In order to strike back against All for One's control, he gathered allies and fought. And it shows the second user. So I guess he was the leader? And then he speaks. You were there with us. You saw it all, Yoichi. Wait, is this the first time we're hearing the name of the first user? I can't call him the first user anymore. His name is Yoichi. And since the name of Shigaraki is the name given to Tomura by All for One, because All for One says, I'll give you my name, that means his name is Yoichi Shigaraki? Yoichi Shigaraki, the first user of the progenitor of One for All. But we got his name now, Yoichi. You were there with us. You saw it all, Yoichi. Yeah, I sought to bring down your brother and extinguish so many lives in the process. Because in our battle, victory meant life, and defeat meant death. Now you tell us to devote our efforts to one who wants to save our mortal enemy, a boy holding on to such a ridiculous delusion. A ridiculous delusion? Such a sad way to see it. Then tell me this, why on that day, knowing full well of my ties to your mortal enemy, did you reach out to me? Yo! So he met both the first and second. So Yoichi met the second and third users of One for All way back when. And I guess he was there to try and kill All for One. Or he was there to kill Yoichi because of his ties to All for One. Knowing full well of my ties to your mortal enemy, why did you reach out to me? Our battle never could have begun if you hadn't taken me from this room on that day. So wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that the dreamscape space that they're in right now is a representation of the room that Yoichi has always been inside? Apparently his brother trapped him in there because when it shows the second and third users coming to Yoichi, there's like a vault-like turn wheel on the door. So All for One kept him trapped inside of that room so he could never get out. And it's the second and third users who were there who freed him. Our battle never could have begun if you hadn't taken me from this room on that day. Besides, what choice do you have now? You know this is the only way, which is why you've chosen to appear here in the first place, right? Can that boy really bring an end to all of this? And then Yoichi says, yes, One for All emerged from the will to resist my brother, but the moment you reached your hand out to me was when One for All was truly born. And then we have the second user. The second user finally speaking to Midoriya, and such a fantastic panel. Listen up, boy. Things are bound to move more quickly from here on out. And then Midoriya, eating the tonkatsu that All Might gave to him, says, right. And here we have, it appears all of the users, all the previous users of One for All are now standing with Midoriya. The second and third users had their heads against the wall in the One for All realm, but now they all stand with Midoriya. So now they're all prepared to give them their all of One for All, so he can reach his fullest potential. And that is the end of the chapter. Next chapter hits May 9th. Hello, am I reading chat? Not when I'm reacting to the chapter for the first time, because sometimes there are some individuals who like to spoil for some odd reason. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, I tend to have it full screen. My apologies, Haley. And also, Cinderon, good to see you here as well. Overall, this was a pretty good chapter. We finally got all the users of One for All. We still don't have the names of second and third users quite yet, but we do know that they now stand with everyone else with Midoriya in order to ensure that he can get the full brisk, the full extent of One for All. This was a bit of an expository chapter. So overall, we got some backstory. We find out the name of the one who pretty much started it all. Yoichi is the brother of All for One, and since Shigaraki is the name given to him, we now know that his name is Yoichi Shigaraki, or Shigaraki Yoichi. So now we have the name of the one whose quirk started all of this. And now we have the second and third users of One for All now invested in working with Midoriya so that Midoriya can finally reach his full potential with One for All in order to stop all of this that's going on. And I specifically love the part of the chapter where the woman who was getting attacked by these other civilians just based on how she looks. Doesn't that sound familiar? Just based on how she looks, she wonders, is everything gonna go back to normal? And then Midoriya says, I'll make it so. Like, Midoriya is fully invested in making sure he's the one who brings all of this to a definite end. So, we're just gonna have to see where the story goes from here. Now, mind you, these reactions tend to go quicker than my reactions to, say, One Piece or Solo Leveling. So this may not be as long, but now it just opens up a whole new thing about these new users, about the second and third users of One for All. What are their capabilities now? Because with Midoriya, he now has the superhuman speed and superhuman everything baseline because of the stockpile quirk from the first user. And, well, actually, the stockpile quirk that All for One gave to Yoichi, and then that quirk mixed with the transference quirk that Yoichi had originally. So as it passed between user to user to user to user, that quirk, that borderline basis of the quirk, allowed each subsequent user, there's the word, to get stronger and stronger and have more power. So now, since it's passed over about 8-9 times, he has superhuman base stats now because of One for All. Now he also has Black Whip from Daigoro Banjo. He has Float from Nanashimura. He has Danger Sense from Hinamori. He has Smokescreen from N. And now he has now we're just waiting on the other quirks from actually, let me make sure that I'm going through all the list of quirks that Midoriya has. I tend to kind of forget sometimes, but he only has like a literal handful of quirks at this moment. Yes, he has Danger Sense from why did I call him Hinamori? His name is Hikage Shinomori. My bad. Let me correct that before you guys correct me in comments. Danger Sense from Hikage, Black Whip from Daigoro, Smokescreen from N, and Float from Nanashimura. So we're still missing the quirks from, let me see, where are they? Where are all the users? Yoichi Shigaraki, the first user of One for All. He's pretty much the baseline of the entire quirk. The second user, don't know their names. Third user, don't know their names. Hikage Shinomori, fourth user, has Danger Sense. Daigoro Banjo, fifth user, has Black Whip. N, sixth user, has Smokescreen. Nanashimura has Float, and no quirk from All Might since he was already quirkless. So there's still 2 more quirks that Midoriya has to get his hands on. Not from the first user, because that's pretty much the entire makeup of the entire One for All quirk itself, so Midoriya already has that. And because of that, we should be thankful that because of the quirk that All for One gave his brother, which mesh with his quirk that he already had in his body to transfer other quirks, that increased the power of One for All every time it was transferred over the generations. So, we still only have 2 quirks to learn for Midoriya. But overall, pretty good, solid chapter. I enjoyed it myself. But with all the power that he has, and mind you, with every single time that One for All is transferred to another person, it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. So Black Whip is immensely stronger than it was than when Daigoro had it. Float probably going to get stronger as well, since Midoriya has clearly shown that he is very proficient in using Float now. Danger Sense, I believe he's still getting used to that, even though it shoots of shooting pain into him. And with Smokescreen, that's probably going to get stronger as well. With the second and third users, we still need to see what type of quirk they're going to have in order to see how it stacks up to the rest of Midoriya's quirk repertoire. Now, mind you, a lot of people, hey Yana, Shigaraki Yoichi, stockpiling quirk and transfer quirk. Yep, he's pretty much the progenitor to it all. That's what I said earlier. I noted his quirk earlier. But a lot of people, well, I wouldn't say a lot of people, just some people are really hoping that one of these quirks allows Midoriya to heal himself due to the really not just destructive power outwardly of One for All, but inwardly if Midoriya uses too much. Some people are hoping that he has a healing type of quirk, so that way he's able to use One for All at its full extent without it damaging his body. Because the only reason why Midoriya is able to use full strength, or at least almost full strength when it comes to his super strength, is because of some special support gear he got from America. And that is what's helping his body regulate itself without it outwardly damaging his body. So some people are really hoping that he gets his hands on some healing type quirk, so that way him needing those support items may not be as necessary. I feel like if Midoriya gets his hand on a healing type quirk, that would make him OP, because that means he can just heal himself and then just go 100% all the time and then just rapidly heal. Now, to what extent of healing, some people haven't really specified. Is it high-speed regeneration? We don't know. We would hope it would be. And now let me just be really, really specific here. What I'm saying here with healing, none of us are saying that that's what the abilities of the second and third users are. It's just that some people are hoping that that's one of their quirks. Because we don't, in fact, know the quirks of the second and third users of One for All. We know that they are now resolved themselves to siding with Midoriya and are fully invested in him learning their quirks. Healing quirk would be great, because he could regulate it, like how Todoroki can regulate and use his quirk way more. Hey, Hiroshi, good to see you here as well. I'm just talking about the chapters since I've already done talking about it. This is not going to be as long as my One Piece reaction that I just did a little while ago. But we're now just talking about where things stand for Midoriya. Because this was a bit of an expository chapter, not a lot of fighting. It was just Midoriya saving a civilian from other civilians who, are just jumpy and got itchy trigger fingers. But since the second and third users now side with Midoriya, a lot of us are just wondering what are their quirks going to be. But I was just talking about how some people really would like for one of their quirks to be healing. So that way Midoriya doesn't have to worry about using support items to regulate his body in order to keep himself from damaging himself. That's what some people are hoping. But we're just going to have to wait after we go on break, because we're going on break next week and we won't get one until the week after. So May 9th is when we're getting the next chapter of both One Piece and My Hero Academia. So we're just going to have to ruminate on this chapter and just think about what potential quirks the second and third user may have. Now, I like the idea of him having a healing quirk, because it would be very beneficial for him. I mean, he's got so many quirks in him already, but healing would be absolutely amazing for him. As for the other user, what else would really work for Midoriya? The only other thing I could think of without him just getting more and more attack powers would be another defensive power. Because we have one that aids in evasion, such as floating and black whip and smokescreen. And we have one that aids him in detection that allows him to sense danger. So, danger sense. And of course, he has his regular superhuman strength and everything else. But what if he gets a quirk that allows him to, actually, you know what? That's actually a bad idea. I was thinking, the idea was thinking of Midoriya getting a defensive quirk that makes it so that his body can take more damage. But then I realized that Kirishima already has a quirk dedicated to that. So if they just give Midoriya the same thing that Kirishima has, then it would kind of overshadow Kirishima's defensiveness, because on top of all the things that Midoriya can do, that just makes him just super overpowered. So now that I think of it, maybe he shouldn't get something akin to Kirishima's defensive capabilities as well, because otherwise it would just render Kirishima like, okay, he's just another kid with defensive capabilities like Midoriya. And then that'll just throw a whole new can of worms in the mix. I don't know what other good quirks would be for Midoriya, though. See, healing, that sounds good, but I don't know what other ones could actually go with him that would not make other characters who would either have that same quirk rendered moot or, not as reliable. That's just what I'm thinking. But that's all I got concerning this chapter. I'm going to have to think about this for a while and think about what potential quirks Midoriya is going to get from both the second and third users now that they are fully invested in joining the other users of One For All and making sure that Midoriya is going to be prepared for the big battle to come. And the second users specifically said that things are about to pick up fast from here on out. So either there's something in my eye. Either they're going to try and get him used to his new quirk. Wait, who is this? Hold on. Wait a minute. I can't make that out. Oh my goodness! Narinjas! With the oh my goodness, with the super chat. How's it going? It is going great. Hello to you. Wow. I'm honored. Thank you for the super chat there. Wow. Okay. But Coolest Husky, welcome. Unfortunately, I kind of reached the end of this chapter because my Hero reactions tend to go really fast compared to my One Piece and my solo leveling. So apologies if you don't see my reaction. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm live. Whew. I was about to say, I hope I'm live and you guys can all see, but I'm good here. But they tend to go a lot faster than my One Piece and solo leveling streams because of how quickly I can go through them. But this was a really good chapter, a solid 8 out of 10. It was an expository chapter. And Narinjas again. Okay, Narinja, my goodness. Hey Karma, welcome. You're late? Yes, you are late. But there's not much else I can say that I haven't already said already. Unfortunately, Karma, I kind of covered a lot concerning this chapter already, so you are in fact really late coming in, because I talked a lot about what I could possibly want to see from Midoriya, since the second and third users are now sided with Midoriya now, if you haven't already read the chapter. So it just makes me wonder what quirks they're going to give him. Notification didn't show up until 6 minutes after I started, but I'm glad I didn't miss the whole thing. I really don't like how YouTube's notifications I really don't like how YouTube's notifications don't let you guys know instantly when I'm live. So I'm not a big fan of that, because then you guys find out and then I'm already talking and then you guys wind up missing what I say in the beginning. So that's something that they really need to work on. Because I get notifications like that already, and then it says like, you've been out. You've missed about a good 6 and 10 minutes of this, but hey, we're letting you know now. I hate that. Healing and elemental quirk. Narinjas with the super chat again. My goodness, man. Keep it up. I will. Thank you. I will. I definitely will keep it up. My goodness. Wait a minute. That That's even higher than Narinjas. I'm honored. I really am honored. I don't do this for the super chats. I do this because I like to entertain you guys. But my goodness. But I gotta end it here because I gotta do my reaction to the newest One Piece episode today. I will check out the beginning of the end. It is on my list of different things to read that you guys have suggested to me. I got a lot to go over because I believe Destruct gave me a long list of manhwas to go over. But I'm gonna another super chat. Let's get. But yeah, Karma. It really surprises me that people do this here on my channel. I'm glad that I'm able to entertain you guys. This is the only thing that I seek is your entertainment. But I got a long list of different manhwas and mangas that you guys want me to read. And I want to go ahead and get started on my One Piece episode as well, so that way I can get it done. And if I get done in a good amount of time, Narinjas again, my goodness, man. My goodness. But, thank you. I am truly, truly honored that you would think that I am worthy of such a generous gesture. I am truly honored. I'm thankful that I'm able to entertain all of you guys. And I'm not going to get mushy. I'm going to end it here, even though I told myself I was going to end it like 3 minutes ago and I'm still going. But I just want to say it really is an honor for me to be someone that you guys enjoy watching. I really do. I really do love doing this. And my dream of doing this full time, I have not given up on it, and I have no intentions of giving up on it. Because this is what I love to do. This is my passion. I literally look forward to doing this every day that I wake up. I always look forward to giving you guys something that can entertain you one way or the other. So it is my absolute honor and privilege to be someone that can entertain you guys. But overall, this was a great chapter. It just means that we're setting up learning the quirks of the second and third users. And I mean, I feel like among all the people that Midoriya has taken out, Muscular might have been the most dangerous person that All For One has let out. Sure, we have Stain, but Stain has his own ways of doing things. And since he sees Midoriya worthy of being called a true hero, I don't see Stain, because Stain was freed. Since we see Stain get freed, it remains to be seen whether he's gonna come across Midoriya or not. And I don't think he's gonna stand against Midoriya because, you know, Stain's stance on heroes. He sees some people as just being fake for the admiration and not for the true purpose of a hero. And he sees Midoriya as one of those truly worthy to be called a hero. So it remains to be seen if we see Stain in the future. But it'd be cool if we see him again and whether or not he interacts with Midoriya at some point. Like I said, it's a bit of a stretch, but we'll have to see. But moving forward, Midoriya is going to have to not only deal with all the other different villains who got set free from All For One out there, but he's also going to have to, on the fly, really learn the quirks of both the second and third users once we actually learn them. So we just gotta wait we're going on break, so now we got a while before we get another chapter. So this just leaves us on a rumination of what those quirks are gonna be. Muscular can't be the most strongest though. No, he's not. He's just the strongest one that we've seen Midoriya come across. Because Makia is still a thing. We don't know where they're keeping him, but Makia is still a thing. So Muscular was the strongest that we've seen. And then Narinjas coming again with a super chat. My goodness, while I'm closing out. Narinjas, you are too kind. You are really too kind. You are really too kind. I know Muscular is the strongest that we've seen Midoriya come across thus far. We don't know if there's anyone stronger than Muscular yet. So that remains to be seen. So we're just gonna have to see though. Maki is still a thing, and even though he's locked up somewhere, we don't know if there's any under him that are just as strong as Muscular that All For One has let out. So that remains to be seen. We're gonna have to see where things go. I feel like we're gonna be getting some chapters soon that revolve around the villains and whatever they're doing. but it's not going to be dedicated to them for too long. I feel like with all this time we're spending with Midoriya, there is always going to be some chapters where it's dedicated to the villains, and we haven't had any chapters like that quite yet. Because you see how it always does it with all these different arcs? Every time we have a long string of hero chapters, there's going to be a long string of villain chapters. And we haven't come across any villain-focused chapters quite yet. So keep that in mind. That could be where we go from break. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But that's all I got, ladies and gentlemen. Narinja, Cinderon. Let me go back up here as well. Haley, Your Laughs, Yana, Hiroshi, and Karma, Coolest Husky as well. Thank you everyone for coming to see my reaction for My Hero Academia. I'm going to go ahead and get started on my reaction for One Piece. And I just want to say thank you. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be someone that you guys find entertaining. It is good to have good, meaningful conversation with you guys. And as long as you guys are entertained by anything that I do on this channel, that is all I seek. That is all I seek from you guys. So with that being said, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here, then consider subscribing because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples!